All right, everybody. Today we're going to do a drawing where we are going to draw a room in one-point perspective. Your assignment is to draw a room where you're facing a wall. So you're going to draw a square or a rectangle. Next up, you're going to put a vanishing point, and you're going to take lines from the vanishing point and the corner of the room out to form the edges between the wall and the ceiling and the wall and the floor. Your finished drawing should have lots of detail on every surface, so including the ceiling, the back wall, the floor, and these two side walls. It doesn't have to look exactly like the drawing that I do. You can do things any way you want. You could have the room so you're looking straight down. You can notice in this drawing the student drew doors and stairs going down into the floor, which is pretty complex. You don't have to do that, but you should have some detail on every surface. Great. Okay. So to start, we want to start with this square or on the back wall. Don't make it too big. You don't want it to totally fill up your paper, but don't make it really tiny either. This one here is about 4 inches. Don't go smaller than 4 inches, and maybe not bigger than 8 inches. It doesn't have to be exactly in the middle of your paper, but kind of in the middle, so somewhere in this area, that's where you want to draw it. One thing that can help you, if you have access to a triangle can be very helpful to keep your horizontal lines horizontal and your vertical lines vertical. So the way this works is you can take the triangle and line it up with the top edge of your paper like this. So this edge is lining up with my paper. That means that if I draw over here, it's going to stay straight up and down. So I'm going to use that to draw one side of my back wall. And I can do the same thing for horizontal lines. So if I take my triangle and I line up this side of the triangle with the edge of my paper over here, so I'm lining this part up. Then if I draw along the top edge, it'll make a nice horizontal line. So go ahead and draw a rectangle or a square in the middle of your paper, or about in the middle of your paper. You can also do this with the ruler if you're just careful. One thing to watch out with using the triangle is dirt and pencil lead can build up on the surface of it. So if you sit there and push it around on your paper, you could actually get your paper really dirty. So if your triangle looks kind of dirty or your ruler looks dirty, take a minute and clean them off. And then when you move them around, it helps to pick them up a little bit and move them over instead of just pushing it across your paper. This is what not to do. Oftentimes I'll see students draw the back of their room and then they place a vanishing point. Then they line up the ruler with the corner of their paper and the corner of the room, and they draw it down. Why is this wrong? This line should go to the vanishing point, but if we follow it up, it does not go to the vanishing point. So that's done incorrectly. Let me show you another thing that students do wrong. They line up the vanishing point and one of the corners, and then they draw out. Why is this one wrong? Why is this one wrong? Milano?
The lines aren't even. They're not like, not a continued line.
It's not supposed to be a continued line that goes all the way to the vanishing point. The line should start at the corner and go out. And this part should stay white paper. So watch this carefully. This is the way you want to draw the edges between the walls in your ceiling. You'll start by placing a vanishing point somewhere sort of in the middle of your paper. It doesn't have to be exactly the middle, but just place a vanishing point. Next, take your ruler. You're going to line up the vanishing point and one of the corners. So I'm lining up with this corner right there. Put your pencil at the corner and draw out. Ignore the corner of your paper. It's possible the line goes to the corner, but probably not. Just ignore the corner.
Wait, okay, so you don't draw it from the vanishing point, you draw it from the corner?
You draw it from the corner of the square that you drew. Look up at the screen where I'm pointing. So you line it up with this point and that point right there. What the corner that you want to ignore is this corner over here, the corner of your paper. Ignore that. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to line up the ruler with the vanishing point, this corner right here, and then I'm drawing out to the edge of my paper. This represents the edge between the wall and the floor. And I'll just continue around until I have 4 lines drawn. Vanishing point, left bottom corner, out, vanishing point, out. I now have a basic room shape with a ceiling, 2 walls, a back wall, and a floor.